Well, this should be fun. What's going on, everybody? Here we go. We are live, flying solo with the Julius Randle bomb getting dropped right at the transition. Welcome, everybody. I am still in the midst of making those updates, so bear with me for at least a couple seconds while we try to figure out what actual bodies exist for the Pelicans right now. It's pretty slim pickings. Get your Jahlil Okafor, Check Diallo backcourt or frontcourt on lock right now. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, we have a 4-gamer. Thanks to the guys for crushing the slate prior to this, and then an hour's worth of work just goes away because Julius Randle was going to be a large piece of this slate, and now we need to look at it all again. This is brutal. Like we've said, we're not in the business of predicting blowouts, but this one feels about as safe as it gets, so I don't know what to think. They are really short on functional human beings. This is just not a great spot. Not a great spot. So, welcome to everybody on YouTube. NBA Strategy is the promo code. Actually, it should be live before lock, but use the promo code NBA Strategy. You get 50% off your first month with Awesemo. You could use that on any monthly package. Make sure you're picking the package that you want. I don't want to have to fix your stuff when you accidentally sign up for NHL. I'm just kidding. But I'm serious. Alrighty, I think that I've got these minutes updated. Let's take a look and see how that's going to impact the betting line. And then we can take a look and see where I stand right now. What will Drew's ownership be after the Randle news? More than it should. Oh, this is fantastic. Does Dennis Schroeder get blowout run? I mean, they might not need the starters after halftime. Yeah, that line is climbing a bit. 13 and 231. See, this is what you get if you have a premium subscription. You get somebody updating all of the projections at a moment's notice. You can't beat it. Pels are now 13-point underdogs, 231.5 total. This one's going to be bowling shoe ugly, as they say. Blazers line is 8.5, and this one is now -1. Alrighty. Give Wes Johnson 8 minutes and call it a day. Alright, so premium subs, if you're curious, projections are being updated right now. So if you're looking to do some new crunches and take a look at all of the good stuff, it is now in. What up, everybody? Oh, good Lord. This is fantastic. I got really nervous that I was on mute there for a second. It's weird not having the earpiece in, talk to everybody else, but, it happens. So, doing a little bit of a bankroll challenge right now. I talked about it a little bit in our premium Slack chat, but we get a lot of questions about bankroll management and contest selection and how to, maybe more tailor the game. We tend to talk more in an MME sense more often than not. But I want to approach this a little bit differently. So I cleaned out the old DK account, put in $100 on the dot. I max entered the quarter jukebox. So that's 20 entries at a quarter. And then I got into 5 individual double ups. And I'll mix those up sometimes between double ups, 50-50s, head-to-heads, just depending on the day. But I'm going to try to do a little balance of GPPs and cash games. And I'm going to grind out a $100 bankroll. So I'm going to do recap videos maybe once or twice a week to go over sort of the standing. Going to keep track of it all in some sheets so that everybody can see how it works. But this is going to be something to experiment with moving forward. Show people how to handle a smaller bankroll, because I know that we don't really tackle that all that much, and I think that's something that could be useful for everybody. Now, prior to this show starting, I had just taken a look at my lineups and got a crisp 65% of Julius Randle. Gonna need to rejigger that stuff. So while I wait on our updated ownership projections, let's see if we have those yet. Yeah, we do not. When they come out, I could dive back in. Let's just take a look at where we stand now. We'll dive into OKC and the Pels because clearly that has changed a bit since this morning. The Oklahoma City side is still basically the same for me. I think it's easier to go to Paul George than Russell Westbrook, and at this point in time, it appears that Russ is getting more love. So that's an easy way to get different. Steven Adams continues to look like a fantastic value option on DraftKings at 6,600. I'm not going to be going to the Diallo, Abdel Nader, Terrence Ferguson crew here, regardless of how this game is going to shake out. But what we really want to do is look at this Pelican side. This team is just in disarray. To be down Mirotic, AD, and Julius Randle. This is a team that has too many good guys for two positions, and now they have none. So Drew Holiday, he looks fantastic. The issue that you're going to run into here is that it's a really rough spot, but he's going to have to be as close to James Harden as he possibly can. So I have no problem going to Drew Holiday. As weird as this sounds, like I feel like I like Jahlil Okafor less now. He's going to use every single one of his fouls in this game. You better believe that. They don't have enough bodies elsewhere. So if Steven Adams does play north of 30 minutes, Jahlil Okafor is going to eat 6 fouls at some point in time, or he's just going to be playing well. I have Check Diallo getting the other minutes. They don't really have that many other options, and Steven Adams will eat them alive if they try to go small, at least in my opinion. So I'm still in for Holiday. I'm still in for Okafor. I think that Darius Miller has been getting a little bit too much love on DraftKings, at least. On FanDuel, where he's the minimum, it's a very relevant punt. I don't love Darius Miller as much as the public does on DraftKings. 32% expected ownership before this. But at this point now, whether that's Solomon Hill or maybe Frank Jackson, or if you think that Check Diallo can get additional run because Jahlil Okafor picks up some fouls, I would cycle through the punts of the Pelicans at this point now. I don't see Darius Miller needing to be the clear smash punt of DraftKings, because we have to play 240 minutes one way or the other if you're the Pelicans. And if that's the case, you're just trading different flavors of garbage. Darius Miller is the garbage outside of Pizza Hut. Solomon Hill is probably the garbage outside of McDonald's. Either way, it's garbage. But we're going to have to sift through it one way or the other to find some food. That is the worst analogy ever. Just absolutely terrible. I got caught up into it and needed to finish it out. Yeah, look, Darius Miller could play 40 minutes now, or they just really dust off a lot of Solomon Hill and Wesley Johnson. This game, there's no way to know. At this point, there's no way to know. Thoughts on Bayless? More like Bay Moore. That's not a good joke either. This is just, it's bonkers. For him to go out right now that's something else. I'm going to rerun my sim, and we'll take a look and see how everybody's shaking out on a positional basis. Hope everybody's having a good day. I hope no one was really reliant on Julius Randle before this. Kind of went a little sour. We're eating anchovies right now. Dana, I feel like you're saying that like it's a negative thing, but anchovies are delicious. really, really delicious food. Do you fade George now? I don't think so. I don't have a huge issue with the potential blowout. It's just not for me. Drew Holiday though looking pretty damn tasty. Okafor as well. You know, they're the clear two best plays on the slate from a logic standpoint. There's too much opportunity to soak up. Yeah, the only caveat to this, there's the caveat if everybody wants to drink. The only caveat to this right now is that we got that Randall news early. I assume that the league was just confused and gave it to us just at the 7 o'clock lock instead of forgetting that they actually started at 8 o'clock. So yeah, Drew Holiday, Elfrid Payton, Jahlil Okafor. You know, you gotta kind of play a little bit of all these Pels and just hope you get the right one. That's easy as it is. Curry or Drew in raw fantasy points. It's got to be Drew now. SJM, McDonald's and Pizza Hut hardly qualifies as food. McDonald's breakfast is phenomenal. And if you don't like Pizza Hut breadsticks, you're probably a communist. Are the Pelicans going to have to pick up some OKC players to join their team now? You know what? It's not out of the realm of possibility. Would Booker still be the third best play on the slate? That's a tough sell for me. That's a tough one. Once I get my ownership projections, I'll be able to dive into this. Any other fire food takes? Look, McDonald's being good at breakfast should not be a hot take. That should just be well known. They've got that on lock. Yeah, I hope the Pelican mascot is getting some shots up. They're going to need to start a fire or something again. Let's take a look at some of the other games. It's not as if we got a ton of news that's super relevant outside of that game. I still, have interest in the top end of Golden State. I like Draymond probably more than anybody else right now. This just strikes me as a good spot for his price tag. I'm still going to be under the field on DeMarcus Cousins. If he's going to play 25 minutes, kudos. I don't see any reason to project him for that right now. So, you know what to like in Golden State, but I think Draymond is getting not enough love. Bradley Beal's still looking pretty tasty. Now, if I'm talking DK right now, if you're looking for value, Andrew Wiggins continues to grade out well and continues to scare me. Derrick Rose looks significantly more appealing now than he did this morning, now that Teague is out. I wish I liked Dame more than I'm getting. I was kind of hoping that he would just sit, make it a little easier. Yeah, no hat today. I got a haircut. Usually on the day that I get a haircut, I like to let it fly. Make me feel good about it for a day. Yeah, there are no locks on this slate. That's for sure. All right, ownership is updated, which means it's time to get to work. I would really appreciate it, everyone in the NBA, if you could not put out any news, because I'm not sure that I can react to it at this point. There's the solid 83% expected ownership to Jahlil Okafor. So if you were worried about playing the chalk in Ja, get ready, because it just got a lot worse. They're going to need to get Jabari Parker to the Pels. They need some more Duke reclamation projects. Thanks to Tom for getting me that ownership update as quick as he did. I really appreciate it. Did I go to Great Clips or Supercuts? I went to neither. I went to a place called Tame the Maine. It's right around my house. It's a great spot. Shout out to Hannah, who I know is not watching this, because why would she? Okay. DraftKings, let's do this. Let's run the sim. Let's take a look at ownership and the relative rates, because Jahlil Okafor is on another level right now. It's KD from DC. Yes, he is. Clay or Rose? It's so hard. Like, those guys are so polar opposites. You need to get Clay right 10% of the time. You need to be there on those 10% where he goes crazy. Rose is going to be significantly more consistent for you. So it depends what you're looking for. Got a free bowl of soup with that haircut. I would do anything for a free bowl of soup. I love soup. Soup is like my favorite thing in the world. All right, so I love these. Like, I totally understand the aggressive chalk coming on right now. Jahlil Okafor at 83% on DraftKings. I think that's probably a little high, but I get it. I mean, it's better than playing a ton of Darius Miller. I have no issue having a large amount of Jahlil Okafor. If you're playing cash, Jahlil Okafor is essential. See if anybody else stands out. I'm really high on Paul George in comparison to the public, which I think is interesting. Similarly for Durant and Beal. I'd be more likely to walk back the ownership of like Russell Westbrook, who seems to be significantly chalkier than Paul George. And I understand why, because of the price tag, but I think I would rather just get to George for the ownership discount. So that's where I'm standing at the top end. Anybody else standing? Again, I still like Draymond. I think Kyle Kuzma is going overlooked, especially now. He's only at 10% expected ownership. I think he should be around double that. Other guys that stand out for me, in terms of major fades, it continues to be DeMarcus Cousins for me. I just can't get there with limited minutes. What? It's just soup that someone dragged food through? Oh, you have not had good soup, sir. All right, let's run some crunches. Let's get some lineups in, because I was all set, feeling good with my crunch, and then all of a sudden it became complete dookie. Jeff Green went to your high school movie hood. Is that true? Elf gets a big usage bump without Miro. Yeah, what's his usage bump when no one else is on the floor? Any stats that exist for the Pelicans right now are irrelevant. They are missing their three of their four best players. We don't have anything to comp that one with. This is going to be a lot like Elfrid Payton playing with the Suns last year. That's not a good thing. Do an NBA Wowie, Pels usage with the dudes out. There's not going to be enough possessions left. What have they played? 16 possessions with those three guys off the floor? Useless information. I don't know why this guy left Ian Clark off, but yeah, it's just too many people, man. Too many people. Let's just prove the point, though, just so everybody knows. So, no Anthony Davis. No Julius Randle. No Nikola Mirotic. No Eton Moore. Yeah, the most we got here is 55 minutes for Okafor. So I'm not gonna really read into 100 possessions worth of data on the biggest guy, and he's the one guy we don't have to care about. Elfrid Payton's played 3 possessions without these guys. Drew Holiday's played 27. Yeah, for the YouTube chat. Yeah, Randall is out. Be prepared. It's already 7:30. We don't have time for this. We do have time for this. We have time for whatever I want to have time for. Surprise! I control this. Draft Express projecting LaMelo Ball as the 33rd overall pick in 2020. Good lord. Mike Jordan of Record. Anyone playing center and Skeet? Probably more than most, I think. It's kind of scary. Rondo. I could do without it. Which garbage New Orleans Pelicans guys did I get? Peyton, Darius Miller, none of that other slop, as it should be. Good God. All right, let's take a look at it. Let's evaluate. Steph or Elf FanDuel GPP? I mean, it's kind of a tough question to answer. I need to know what you do with the additional savings. David Parker, that's a great point. This slate is completely different than what you looked at this morning. Yes, it most certainly is. It has gone a different direction. It has gone a very different direction. It was decent at one point. All right, so I've crunched out 20 lineups. I need to get rid of 3 of them. Unfortunately, there are some that I actually like, but they're a bit too aggressive for my taste. So I need to get rid of Durant Bender line, which is this one. I need to get rid of Draymond Derrick Rose. No, Draymond Towns. Draymond Towns and Draymond Rose. Yeah, there we go. Boom and boom. Let's crunch 3 more. Let's churn those out and we'll see what we get. So yeah, I'm gonna put these 20 lineups in that I'm crunching out now. And then I'm going to play one of those lineups as a cash lineup. And that's going to be my $10 for today. We're going to try to build this bankroll. Make that paper. I see no way to get off of Drew Holiday today, which is kind of scary. I'm going to have way more than the field. Jay Kelly, does the Randall news take your ownership on Russ and point guard or MPG down in fear of a major blowout? Not really. Draymond, Rose, Green, Towns. Rose, Green, Towns. One more. Actually, let's let that rip again. Beal or Booker? Beal for me. Do I like Porter on DK? Yeah, he's in like half of my lineups right now. Big Porter fan today. Much more on DraftKings than I am on FanDuel. I don't really like that price on FanDuel. I think he's like 7,100. It's not for me. How much Jaleel am I taking to the field? I'm not really sure yet. It's possible that I am just 100% Jaleel, which is kind of scary. We're going to see where this shakes out right now. I can't really stop him from coming up, which is not appealing. All right. Booker, Draymond, Rose. Let's clear these out. Booker, Draymond, Rose. Gone. Rose, Draymond, Towns. The last one, Rose, Durant, Bender. Rose, Durant, Bender. Done. Three more. Yeah, I'm going to end up being overweight on Jahlil Okafor. I'm almost positive of it. I don't totally feel comfortable with it, but he's the closest thing to a solid value play on this slate. Otherwise, I'm going to end up playing too much of guys that I don't really care for. Yeah, I feel a lot more comfortable here. Let's go ahead and get this in here. We'll take a look at my exposures. So yeah, I have 95% Drew Holiday, 95% Jahlil Okafor right now. He's in 19 of 20. Oh, that's a good question. Michael Rico, which lineups are you deleting or why am I deleting them? I can talk about it here. So the information that you see in column AA is, let's just say, the likelihood that someone has this lineup. So this top one would be 1 in 2,681. What this is doing is taking every expected ownership that we have, multiplying them together, dividing that number into 1. So technically, this is a 1 in 2.7 million lineup. When I ran my first 20, I was getting I had 3 lineups that were like 1 in 20 million lineups. That is way too far off of the beaten path for today. So I want to throw those out because they're more of an outlier than you really need in a tournament. So I don't want to play bad lineups right out of the gate, at which point I deleted the 3 and recrunched, which will put me a little bit too heavy on some guys, i.e. Drew Holiday and Jahlil Okafor and potentially Andrew Wiggins, but it's the price you pay. I'm okay with most of this. I'm not getting any Russ. I'm not getting any Steph. I'm not getting much of anything. And it's actually, I got 1 Russ. Sorry. I didn't look at that correctly. Didn't get any Steph. 1 out of 20 Russ lineups. It's a little terrifying. Is 4 Pelicans too much? Yeah, I think it is. All right, we got a ton of questions coming into Premium Slack. If you want to check out this Premium Slack, it is bumping all day. NBA Strategy is the promo code. 1 word, 50% off your first month with us. Come check it out. You know, we're in here all day. Nurk or Booker? Shit, where'd it go? Nurk or Booker, Russ or Cat? Booker over Nurkic. I wish that it wasn't the case, but it is. Russ or Cat is Cat for me. Cat or Nurkic on FanDuel, it's Cat. It's Cat all day for me, everywhere and everything. Lillard or Drew on DK Cash, it's got to be Drew. Not even up for debate. Thoughts on McCollum on FanDuel? He's the same that he is every other day. Oubre or Wiggins is Wiggins. Preference to Wiggins over Rose. I prefer Wiggins to Rose. I will never be happy about what just came out of my mouth. Any Diallo? I don't believe so. Did I say 4 is too much? Fake news. I mean, I guess 4 Pels in cash could be okay. I don't totally see the need for 4. I don't think they have 4 real NBA players right now. So there is that. Alrighty. I am not comfortable with 95% Drew Holiday and 95% Jahlil Okafor, but I'm not entirely sure I have a choice. But I think I need to dial that back just a hair. I'm going to change their caps to 65. We'll go 70 here and 65 here. I don't totally trust where I just was. Jahlil is on his 3rd game of heavy minutes in 4 days. Yeah, he doesn't have a choice. They get Steven Adams, and if Jahlil Okafor is not out there, they're either dusting off Check Diallo or they're gonna quit at halftime. I don't really think they have many other options. I'm not worried about. Like, I expect him to be bad, but I can't get away from that. I mean, he's going to be in my cash lineup without question. Pelicans will be lucky to score 85. I don't know. As of right now, they're projected to score 109. So we don't want to overreact too much. Just remember, we didn't think that the Hawks could hang with the Raptors, and they did. And we didn't think that the Cavs can beat the Pacers however many weeks ago. They did. This shit happens, man. It happens a lot. So I will never just simply disregard a game because of those sorts of plans. Okay, so I just did a recrunch. I'm sorting this again. And you'll see, really the only lineup that I need to get rid of is this Rose, Durant, Dragan, Bender lineup. All of these other lineups are relatively standard. 3, wild cards into the millions. I could probably get rid of these bottom 2, but this one, 1 in 29 million chance here. I don't need that sort of stretch. So I'm going to go ahead and get away from that particular line. So I'm going to delete the Rose, Durant, Dragon Bender, Ender. Where is it? Rose, Durant, Bender. I delete. I crunch one more lineup. It comes out significantly better. I do have 4 Pels here that you'll see. But it's Drew, and then it's 3 cheapies. So I don't mind allocating the salary all that much. Do have my rules in place. Everything looks good. Let's crunch that out. Draymond or Ariza in a DK GPP. Draymond for me. I want all the Draymond today. I think he's going overlooked. If Draymond Green really is... What do we have him at? If Draymond Green really is 10% owned, I would want to have him like 25%. I would want to be in the 25 to 30 range. Yeah, Bayless's price is in the 4s, Greek Ink, right? If he is, I would not be interested in playing Rose and Bayless together. If he's a little bit cheaper, it's fine. All right, let's add this in. Now we'll see where we stand. See, now instead of being all the way down here at 1 in 29 million, I get a lineup that's a little bit more palatable. Now, if we look at my exposures, we'll see I have at least one of everybody that I'm highlighting. No Russ, no Clay, no Curry, no Lillard, no Nurkic. That stuff kind of scares me. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not really seeing any natural pivot points right now. So I want to go ahead and get these lineups in. And then we could start taking some more questions for the last 20 minutes. Who's uglier, AD or Draymond? AD. Bayless, $12 on Yahoo. Probably not a guy I would want a ton of volume to. Someone else has to be paying off better than that today. All right, so lineups are in and in. Both cash and GPPs. First day of the $100 bankroll challenge. I'm excited. I'm excited to try and grind one out. I'm excited to talk about it. I want to make sure that people are seeing it, that you can MME, you can 20 max, you can play cash at the same time, and you can build a bankroll. Any interest in stacking Rondo and Kuzma? Yeah, why not? FanDuel cash, KCP, Kuzma, Jackson, or Booker, Taj, and Diallo. KCP, Kuzma, and Jackson. No, drum for 3. No Nurk. Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie. That gives me some pause. The problem is there's just so many good centers. I'd rather go to Jahlil Okafor. I don't really see a way around that. I think the Karl Anthony Towns is a monumentally better play than Yusuf Nurkic. I prefer Steven Adams at 6,600, and I prefer Draymond Green. And I also get the flexibility of using Draymond at power forward. So while I love Nurk, and I think he grades out really well, he is one of the top 10 values on DraftKings today, probably 25% of the time. But he's 6th, and it's really difficult for me to get there when I'm only playing 20 max. So I'm going to be coming in under the 17% number. I'm not comfortable about it, but that's the stand that I have to take today. Can we rank the Pels minimum price guys? I don't like any of them, really. I mean, if we're counting Darius Miller as the minimum price guys, it's got to be Darius Miller. After that, check Diallo probably, and then Solomon Hill, but Solomon Hill could get 8 minutes. Look, honestly, right now, I have no idea. Pelicans will start Peyton, Holiday, Miller, Hill, and Okafor. So yeah, Solomon Hill jumps immediately to the top of the list behind Darius Miller. Yeah. If Solomon Hill is starting, as that tweet does say, that's the way you got to go. Which is interesting because I'm pretty sure I didn't get any Solomon Hill. I did not. And that doesn't surprise me. I need 30 out of Solomon Hill, and I don't think that's viable. Could be wrong. We'll see. I'll take my chances. I try to play good players. Can we go over some Yahoo plays after all of the updates? Yeah, we could take a look at some Yahoo. Grading out best for me. Let's see. First, let's change that to large. Or nope. Russ is my favorite point guard on Yahoo. Derrick Rose is second for sure, only $22. Shooting guard, Drew Holiday and Bradley Beal are on an island. I prefer Beal to Booker by quite a bit on Yahoo. Durant and George clearly leading the charge at small forward. Darius Miller is fine. Mikal Bridges is fine. That's probably the extent of the paydown options at small forward. At power forward, Otto Porter at $22 is pretty clearly the best option. After that, you're going to either Draymond or Jeremy Grant or Al-Farouq Aminu. And then at center, it's just Towns and Okafor. After that, you're picking between, you could flip a coin on Nurkic or Adams depending on costs. It's sort of where I'm at for Yahoo right now. Solomon Hill gets Paul George defense. Any questions? Yeah, I don't think that matters at all. If they really want to be dicks, Paul George guards Drew Holiday. What else do we got? Any exposure to Thomas Bryant on FanDuel? Let me see if I would. No FanDuel for me today. Yeah, I would probably have a little bit as a potential value play to not be on Cousins. This slate has really gone down the old can. That's for sure. Get your questions in. 13 minutes until we get to lock. I've got lineups in right now. We are grinding 20 max in the quarter jukebox on DraftKings. $5 in individual double ups. We are trying to grind a bankroll on 100 bones. We're going to take this journey all the way through the end of the NBA season. So if you want to keep tabs on me, I'm in the 12K quarter jukebox. I'm in 5 separate double ups. I'll tweet out my results in the morning. We'll track it all in a Google sheet. We'll break it all down because I want people to make sure they understand what they're getting into. Make sure that everybody can understand, how important contest selection is going to be. Because I could have just put one entry into a $5 single entry and a $5 double up, but I want to try to spread the wealth a little bit. Take a couple big bites at the apple. Who knows? Maybe I bank this quarter jukebox and I'm already up $600, and then we got some money to play with. It could happen. It could happen. But we're going to try to grind a bankroll. Would I play Cat and Wiggins together in a DKGPP? I would. That's okay. It's a 4-game slate. No issues with it. Any interest in Melton in a DKGPP? Not really. And I feel like that's kind of crazy. And he had some ownership earlier today. Not so much now. So not really a guy for me. If I were playing 150 lineups, Melton would come in less than 5% of those. Steph or KD for cash? Oh, that question wasn't for me. I'll let Dante Cunningham handle that one. E-ball. Why is chat on YouTube saying Randall is back in? E-ball, don't pay attention to YouTube chat. Saturansky or Elf? Elf for sure. How do you treat a $600 bankroll for a GPP player? I can't cover it all. Brian B. Yeah, he's not playing. Brian B got to go bye-bye for a minute. Brian B, I'll see you in 5 minutes, brother. Alex Baker in the house, tagging in. I would recommend investing to the answer for Reed's question of how do you treat a $600 bankroll for a GPP player. The one and only Alex Osmo Baker popping in to say you would recommend investing 10% each slate in the lowest buy-ins you can do. And that is what I'm doing right now. Only I'm playing a little bit of cash as well. But I'm mass entering the quarter tournament on DraftKings. Lowest I can get into. If you can't beat the quarter tournaments, you're probably not going to beat the tournaments that are there as you climb up the ranks. Schroeder and Jackson or Wiggins and Bender in a FanDuel GPP. Wiggins and Bender. Do we think Rondo plays? Yeah, I assume Rondo plays. Alex, thanks for tagging in on that one. Appreciate that. How do I feel about having none of the studs come up like Nurkic and Beal? I mean, Nurkic I'm okay with. I do have one lineup of Bradley Beal. That probably gives me a little bit of pause. I should probably be prioritizing a little bit more Beal. But I would rather be significantly over the field here on Drew Holiday, I think. Thoughts on Lillard over Drew for ownership reasons? Yeah, I don't see it. Could be. It's not a direction I'm going, so I can't be disingenuous. I have more Drew than I have anybody else. Well, congrats on all those top 10s, Dan Rude. Glad you're climbing, man. Boogie. I don't play on fantasy draft, so I don't really know any of the prices. I can't really help you out there. Josh, should I play any Pelicans? You should. I have too much Darius Miller. Should I pivot some? Probably not. I mean, it makes sense. It makes some sense, at least. I guess it's probably the better way to say it. Yeah, my lack of Durant and Beal is what's giving me at least a little bit of nerves. Let's see what happens if I try to tweak their stuff. So let's give Durant the double thumbs up. Actually, here's what we'll do. We're gonna cap Durant at 15. We're gonna cap Beal at 15. Give those guys the triple thumbs up. And we'll see where we end up after that. I might change up the old output because those are the two guys I like the most. They're not really getting all that much love from the public. But I think that I'm probably in my best interest to getting a little bit more there. Let's see how that looks from a tournament perspective. We got 6 minutes to go. See, it never ends. It's always just a scramble. What is Beal's projected ownership? Low 20s, I think. Mid 20s. 17. All right, so on this crunch, see, we end up with some outliers. Two very monster outliers in the 1 in 30 million crew. One of those lineups contains Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. The other does not. So I'm going to leave that one and just delete the Rose, Hart, Towns lineup. All right, let's do that. I think that makes me a little bit more comfortable. What else we got? Miller and Oubre are essentially the same price, and Boogie and Oubre are the same price. Raw points. Oubre over Miller for sure. I don't know what to do with Boogie. Brian B., I didn't ban you. I put you on timeout for 5 minutes because you're spouting nonsense. Can't be having you come in talking about Julius Randle playing when Julius Randle is not playing. Not how this works, my man. It's called a timeout for a reason. I had to put you in the corner for a hot minute. My apologies, but that's how life works. Alrighty. Let's get these lineups in. We're going to win some money tonight. I'm going to grind that Hundy spot. All right. Let's upload these lineups. 3 minutes to spare. There we go. The problem with Durant and Beal is they take away from Russ, PG, and Cat. Yeah, I agree. But they are owned less than those guys. Nurkic breaks the slate. Certainly could, man. Certainly could. He is that kind of guy. All right, final exposures. This is what I've got. I've got one lineup of Steph now. My main fade, which I am very much not comfortable with, is Russell Westbrook, considering his ownership. Yo to the low. Lots of Drew Holiday, lots of Jahlil Okafor, lots of Andrew Wiggins, lots of Otto Porter. I'm making moves on Darius Miller, hoping that he is my guy. Hey, Brian, turn that caps lock off, my man. You are not an appealing piece of this chat right now. I got myself my Bradley Beal. I got myself my Kevin Durant. I'm above the field. I'm happy. This is what we've got going on. 3 minutes, 2 minutes and change. 2 minutes on the dot. Get them in. Josh, do you like Beal for GPPs? Absolutely. Josh Hart or Bayless on Yahoo? Josh Hart. Is Rondo going to play tonight? We don't know. Yeah, the Lone Wolf nailed it. 1,000 people in here. Hit that like button, people. It's very helpful. Is Nurkic going to play with that broken foot? Brian B., I'm not entirely sure you understand who's injured today. Raw points. Oubre, Miller, Boogie, and Check Diallo. It's got to be Oubre, Miller. Stop. You know what? You're just gone. It's super weird you're calling me daddy. You're on timeout until the end, and then I can get out of here. That was the most unappealing conversation I've ever seen. Got it dubbed up. We got it. We got it. Tried to give him a little bit of extra rope. He hung himself with it. Player 1 or player 2? FanDuel. Exactly. Can you play Boogie and Draymond together? I mean, you can. I don't know why you would. You can just save yourself and not play Boogie and be happier about it. Otto Porter or Brandon Ingram? I don't know which site you're playing on, but on DraftKings, it's Porter. Eight seconds. If you don't have it in now, well, you're probably screwed. And we're locked. We are locked. Let's go check out some of the ownership in my quarter jukebox. We will try to find out how stupid I am tonight. Let's check it out here. I'm a little quick. Yeah, I'm probably not going to spend those crowns anytime soon. All right, let's see what we got. Good luck, humans. Thanks, Nick. Jahlil Okafor, 58%. DeMarcus Cousins, the second chalkiest player in this tournament, at 31%. That will be pretty interesting. I do not have a very similar number. And by very similar, I mean I played him in 2 lineups. So way under the field on DeMarcus. 30% Russ, you know where I stand. 26% Drew Holiday. I am 3 times the field there. Rutro. Might have went a little too high on Drew. We'll find out. Darius Miller, same story. Over the field. Dennis Schroeder, 23% ownership. That one's kind of surprising. I only have him in 2 lineups. Paul George at 20%. I have only 1 lineup of Paul George. Klay Thompson at 20, I'm fine with. Curry, I'm at half the field. I'm feeling good. I took my stand. Go Pels. No Nick Stauskas today, so if you were planning on rostering Sauce Castillo, think again, even though he doesn't play. Who played themselves? Where's Randall? How many people played Randall? Julius Randle, 10%. 10% in the quarter for Julius Randle. Congratulations. 10% of you have played yourself. Shout out to Eddie. That's a fantastic play right there. 10% Julius Randle. Thanks for paying the rake for me, guys. Much obliged. Much obliged. Pretty good. Check Diallo getting the 10% of some shit. Draymond at 12%, just criminally too low. I cannot believe that 10% of these morons played Julius Randle an hour out. That's why you play these low dollar contests, people. People are going to forget. People will forget. 0.74% on E-Town Moore. Those are bagels. 0.46 on Quinn Cook. Those are probably bagels. Mirotic at 0.14. Not going to get you there. Alrighty, everybody. That's it for me. I am out of here. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Hit that like button on your way out the door. NBA Strategies, the promo code. 50% off your first month if you're interested. I will be back tomorrow morning breaking down the entire 10-game slate. I think it's a 10-game slate. I actually just made that up. I have no idea how many games are in this. If I'm right, though, let's just pretend like I knew what I was talking about. 10 games. See? I knew exactly what I was saying. I meant it the entire time. Tune in tomorrow. Myself and Adam will break it all down. Best of luck. Enjoy.